It's my favourite day in my career because
in a football shirt.
In a football shirt, because you know, if I was going to show my kids and my grandkids one goal, and I can only show them one goal, I'd show them that goal, because I think that that showed what you know, as a player, what I was good at.
Joe.
How you doing?
What's going on? You good?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Long time coming. This you coming on here. So welcome to What I Wore. We've basically got a collection of shirts. We're going to tell your life story through shirts, starting from you growing up right up until your later life. So for you, we've got your debut Chelsea shirt for you to put on.
Put this on, yeah?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I bet this is baggy. Well, I hope it's still baggy. It means I ain't put too much weight on.
Well, all your shirts baggy growing up.
Yeah, it was. That was the style. Well, I don't think it's style. I just think the kit man just bought XLs for everyone, and you have to look. Yeah, look at that.
It's like you're 17 again.
Exactly. Look at this. Look.
So we're going to start with you growing up. Many people associate with West Ham, but you grew up as a Chelsea fan, right? Living in London.
I was living in Lille Green, and where my mum and dad weren't football fans, I'd never had a team given to me. So my best pal at the time at school, he was going over to Chelsea, so his first club I went to, Kerry Dixon, Dennis Wise, these boys.
Some classic shirts here. Just pick me through any memories you got these ones.
Wow, that's a little bit before my time, but I remember this would have been my first ever one.
This shirt here, yeah?
Yeah, that was it, the old badge.
So Chelsea was your first introduction of football, really?
Yeah. I went to the first game. I used to sit over in the shed when it was like, you had the cars parked there, and then you just seemed miles away from the pitch. Like you couldn't see nothing.
You grew up in an era where football was booming, a lot of style, Italian 90. We got some classic shirts here. Just pick me through some of these memories you got here, some of your footballing heroes.
Yeah, well, that's the man there.
That's a 19.
The 19.
Classic, isn't it?
Classic. Oh, look at that.
Is that your first World Cup memory?
Yeah, that's just my first football memory, really, because, like I said, I didn't have a team, so my first love was England. And I was watching the World Cup. There was a little tiny telly. I remember watching the semi-final with a family upstairs in one of the bedrooms, and we was all squeezed in, and then watching the Germany game.
Crazy. Yeah,
that horrible looking thing there. And I just remember like Gaza just capturing imagination and the passion. It was the first time I realised, I'd obviously played football in the playground, but it was the first time I'd realised that there was an actual profession. You know, it wasn't rammed down my throat as a kid. I just loved playing in the playground. So I remember watching Gaza, and I remember the moment watching Gaza play in this shirt and thinking to myself, you know, I want to be a footballer.
Joining West Ham as a youngster.
My first game. That's amazing. Awesome. Again, I don't know, it'd be interesting to know what size they would have been. But no, I mean, I signed for West Ham. I could have gone anywhere at the time, you know.
Is it true that Sir Alex tried to poach you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I say poach me, like, that's why he was such a good manager, why he stood the test of time, because, you know, there's a kid in London who's making waves at like 13, 14, and he managed to find the time to ring you, or when you went up there, I played for him on trial, you know, he'd always make you feel welcome, you know, and that's a testament to how good he was.
But I want to talk about this jacket here we got for Harry. It represents Harry. How important was he for your development?
Harry was great. I mean, I remember him saying to me before my first game, he said, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Listen, who's your favourite player? Who's the best player in the Premier League?" I said, "Zola." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, go out and play like Zola then." And that was that was it. But that was all it needed, because he knew, young lad, you don't want to complicate it for him. But yeah, I owe it all to Harry giving me that chance. I remember Frank's dad. I was cleaning before my first game on the Friday. I was cleaning the dressing room and mopping the dressing room, and he come in and just said, "Have you got a suit, son?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, you're in the first team squad tomorrow." And that was it. And then the next day you're playing for the first team, and away you go, your life changes.
A period of time where West Ham was struggling and eventually went down. Like,
yeah.
How was that for you, being in that shirt at this time?
As a young man, it hurt me a lot. I mean, I remember going on holiday, and just being just distraught, like just feeling so worthless, like that, because I couldn't keep West Ham up, you know, and it really, you know, I mean, you highlight things now like your mental health and all that. That's probably the lowest point of my career, that, because I felt responsible. I knew people had lost their jobs.
I want to know, what is it like to put on your boyhood colours
Yeah.
as a professional for the first time? Like, that must have been special.
It was the right move for me at the time. Claudio wanted me, blah, 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 you know. And it didn't really click in until my first game. When I first game at Stamford Bridge, obviously I played at Stamford Bridge against them at the time, but when I got on the pitch and I could smell the same smell from the burger vans that I remember growing up, and the Liquidator, the tune of Chelsea, came on while I was warming up, and you get a little bit like choked up, because it's, you know, for a young kid, it was amazing. And signing on the same day as Seba, and I was there with my old man, just a you know, Nike tracksuit, just, you know, and then he turned up, Seba, with about 5 or 6 Italian suave-looking agents, the glasses on, looking the part, and I'm just looking at like,
what's this?
Yeah, what's going on here? Like, this is the way to do it. And then we went in. I was promised a number 10 shirt because it's what I wanted to. It was a dream to wear the number 10 at Chelsea. Claudio had forgotten to tell the people, and Seba wanted the number 10 shirt. So we're just about to sign the contract, and he's gone, right, you're going to wear number 20. My dad went, no, he's not. We agreed number 10. And then the guy said, nice, that's going to Veron. And my old man said, right, we can't have that. Come on, let's go. We'll go somewhere else. And I was just kicking him under the table, saying, no, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, no. And he was right. He said, listen, start as you mean to go on. If you was told you was going to get something, you got to get it. So I went, all right, okay. And then there was a bit of a panic. People were ringing Claudio. Claudio rung Seba and said, listen, I made a mistake. I promised it to the young man. Because Seba was the star attraction, and the top man went, yeah, listen, not a problem, I'll wear 20. You know, Claudio explained it was a dream to wear the 10, and he switched it over. And I was like, you know, like a sliding doors moment. It could have been walking off down the King's Road.
So I've got this little jumper here for the special one coming in.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, he's walking in the first day, his impact, like,
yeah.
Did you know this is going to be something special here?
Yeah, for the first, you know, some people got a charisma when they walk into a room, and you have to remember, like, for us, he was a young manager, no background in playing. Yes, he'd just won the Champions League, you know, so that holded a massive amount of weight. But he come to meet the English players at the Lowry Hotel in Manchester, was playing for England, and he sat us down, and he just basically just said, listen, you're all good players, top players, but you've won nothing. You know, if you follow me, we're going to win the title. You're like, just like, wow, the confidence of this man. He is strutting into this place. And you're just like, but that was him.
This is arguably the greatest Prem team of all time. Like, what made these shirts so special and the team so special?
The team so special. I think this was probably the best team I've played in.
This shirt, yeah?
This shirt, yeah. I mean, in terms of, like, youth, vibrancy, we'd already won the previous year, so we had that swagger about us when going onto pitch. But I just felt like playing in this team was such a privilege, because not only could we play and really pop it about, but we could mix it as well. And the players, I felt a lot of them were close to their peak or at their peak. The balance of the squad was great, and it was a group of lads, you know, I really enjoyed spending time off the pitch with as well. We had a cracking time. So
as you're holding that shirt, I've got to bring out that goal, yeah? You scored against United, where you did Rio dirty.
Shut up, mate.
You did him dirty. Like, he's our guy, but like, that goal was just crazy. Like, you talked about Zola and that those kind of skillful goals. Like, what goes through your head when you score a goal like that?
Oh, do you know what? I think like this day in particular, it's my favourite day in my career, because in a football shirt, because we won the title. I scored that goal, which was like, you know, if I was going to show my kids and my grandkids one goal, and I can only show them one goal, I'd show them that goal, because I think that showed what you know, as a player, what I was good at.
Your debut was against Mexico in these jazzy shirts. Talk to me about wearing the 3 lions for the first time. Like, how special was that?
Do you know what? Right, people talk about England friendlies. For me, this game was one of the biggest moments in my life. We go back to like the Gaza thing, and in that moment when I wanted to play for England, and then I remember just going home and thinking to myself, whatever happens in my career now, I'm an England player.
Okay, what would you say your best moment in the England shirt is?
It's easy. It's this one.
Against these guys?
Sweden, yeah. I think you're very lucky as a footballer. So many people or players don't get moments remembered. I mean, I was lucky enough to score one of my best goals on the biggest stage, the World Cup. And it was one of the only reason I shot. I've never shot from outside the box that much. And the only reason I shot because I was exhausted, and it was just before half time. And it just sat up nice, and I just thought, right, let me just get a good connection on this. You know, and just hit. I remember doing the skill at Chadwell Heath training ground for hours. The paintbrush volley where you just boom, do it to try and get the right timing. So it was just amazing. When it went in, I just remember being like, just like out of body experience. You know, unbelievable.
So you joined the Mighty Reds.
Yep.
I want to know what was your feeling, because I heard you could have went to Spurs around that time.
Why did I? Listen, it's Liverpool. You know, my time at Chelsea had done. They'd moved on. I'd moved on, and it got down to I needed to stay in England. You know, young family, and it got down between Liverpool and Spurs, and I just couldn't. I couldn't wear the Spurs shirt. Do you know what I mean? It would have ruined it. All of that. It would have ruined it for me. But unbelievable experience. But, and I tried everything. My body just wasn't allowing me to do to the level that was required for Liverpool at the time, you know. So it was it's tinged with a little regret. You know, it didn't work out, but the people were great there, and you know, to pull on the shirt is a special thing because it's a massive club. It's a massive club.
So then you do move out of England eventually.
Yeah.
You join Lille, play with some talented youngsters. But tell me how good this guy was.
Yeah, I mean, this was like experience. I wanted to play abroad. I thought the time had gone.
Is it true that you convinced him to join Chelsea? We need it from your mouth.
You need it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
No, we spoke. His English weren't great, but it was a lot better than my French at the time. But I remember telling people and people ringing me, and he's asking me about, you know, Man United, Man City, Tottenham, and I just, you know, I told him the truth. I said, listen, the place for you is Stamford Bridge.
You're in a burning building.
Yeah.
You've got to save 2 shirts out of here, yeah?
I'm gonna go with. It'll be between the England goal, but I think it's gonna be the title one.
This one, yes.
This one. That's me.
The gold little strip.
It's a lovely shirt. 100 years, centenary year. If it's like best looking, it's got to be the Italian. Like they know their way around. They know their way around a bit of the old clobber and that.
Yeah, with the Baggio.
Baggio, another one of my heroes. But I'd have to get it tapered in, like bring it up to the modern eras. But yeah, I loving it. I like blue as well.
Perfect, man.
Beautiful.
Joe, thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.